You might think that I'm weird. I'm not. I'm fucked up. There's a fundamental difference between weird and fucked up. You're born weird. You get fucked up. You can't be born fucked up or get weird. I'm fucked up. Stu, though, is weird. You want a first-hand example? You invite him to your place. You invite him to your place and he will steal. And not something smart. No. Stupid things like the little cabinet handles in your kitchen, or that thing on the back of your toilet that floats, or the receiver on your telephone. What good is a telephone without a receiver? Unless, of course, Stu has been to your place. Or this one week after group, we were going to get coffee, and Stu decides that he wants to get some gum because he's off the butts. And he says, hey, I want to get some gum. So I say, oh, let's go to this variety store because variety is the spice of life. But no, Stu wants to go to the supermarket. Why? Because he's obsessed with supermarkets. Why? Because he likes the lighting. And because you can stick your head into the freezer and pretend to be looking for something. That's the other thing with weird people. They're always talking about how hot their brains are from being overloaded by shapes and colors. Shapes and colors. Shapes and colors. The whole world is made up from shapes and colors. Ignorance is bliss. So, we're in the gum section. What kind of gum do you want, Stu? 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 But Stu's not there. No, Stu is in the dairy section. I've got to drag him from the dairy section. So he's standing there, he's got his gum, and we are waiting in line to pay, and we are standing behind this woman who has a cart filled with processed food with which she's going to go home and kill her entire family. She's got one of everything that is bad for you in this cart. She looks around at Stu with his gum and me with nothing, and she doesn't say anything. Does Stu say anything? No. Stu just watches her as she takes each and every package of poison out of her cart and places it onto the counter and punches it into the calculator. I'm getting tense. So I decide to take a trip, which is something that I do when I'm getting tense. I find something to take a trip on, and I take a trip. So I look at the bird on the box of Fruit Loops. She's got 3 boxes of Fruit Loops in her cart. So I'm sitting in her kitchen. I'm invisible. And at her table is also sitting her 2 sets of identical triplets, each 6 years old. She's on the phone with her sister in Medicine Hat. The boys are starving. She slams the box down onto the table. They rip it open with their bare hands, shoving the dry Fruit Loops into their mouths, getting their teeth caught in cardboard. They're making these little coughing sounds. And then she slams down the phone and she throws them into the basement and she locks the door. No wonder their eyesight is so bad. They're locked in the basement all day. And no wonder their teeth are rotting out of their heads. They're eating dry Fruit Loops. So, I'm back in the supermarket. Not a dent in her cart. Why? Because while I was sitting in her kitchen, she ran to aisle 7 to get another dozen boxes of ding-dongs. I'm getting tense. So I start to do my relaxation exercise, which is counting to 30 slowly while thinking about waves. It used to be 50, but it took too goddamn long! I'm at 12, and it's a tidal wave, so I give her one of these. Hey, anybody home? Hey, anybody home in there at all? That's the problem with this country. There's nobody home! Well, you would have thought that I shot her. Cops there, everything. And I'm being charged with assault. Assault with what? With this? This is a metaphor. I'm being charged with assault with a metaphor. Back me up on this, Stu. Back me up on this, Stu. Back me up on this, Stu. No. Why? Stu's gone. I'm being charged with assault with a metaphor, and the real criminal is 15 blocks away with a mouthful of stolen bubblicious. This is the world that we live in, people. Welcome to it. A few days later, I bump into Stu. You idiot. And he says to me, man, are you weird? And I've got to remind him again. No, Stu. No, my friend. You are weird. I'm just fucked up.